We may be back. Hello.
Yep, we're
Hello.
live.
It says live, yes.
Yay, we're
Yep.
live again. Sorry, folks.
Carol says no, she did not hear the Sith Creed.
Okay. So that's good. I don't know where I left off, but I believe in the previous one I said, and again, I'm sorry for this, folks. Sorry we crashed. I don't know what happened. I really don't. I don't know what happened at all. I believe I was saying that before we rated, I just wanted to bring everybody up on the different creeds for the Sith, the Jedi, and the Grey Jedi. Okay? So, the Sith code, or creed, peace is a lie, there's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall set me free. And the Jedi code, there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. So, here you have two ends of the spectrum. Who's right, the Sith or the Jedi? A lot of people say, oh, the Sith are right. A lot of people say the Jedi are right. But then you have the Gray Code,
They're both right.
where they say there is no dark side nor a light side. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. There is no good without evil, but evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet peace. There is serenity, yet emotion. There is chaos, yet order. So here you have three different spectrums of the Force: the Sith, the Jedi, and the Gray. And that's where I think, and JT, you may be onto something, that this could potentially be the start of actually bringing out the Gray Jedi with Ahsoka, with the Ahsoka show that's going to be coming out. So
I've never heard the creeds.
Well, now you
I've
have.
never heard the creeds before. But
Told you I'm a geek.
well, no, and it answers a lot of questions for me, to be honest.
It does.
But hearing the three creeds, the only one that truly makes sense that would apply even to modern day now
Yes.
is the Gray Creed.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
can't have one
on
without
one
the
side
other.
you're saying this is the only thing that matters. On this side you're saying this is the only thing that matters.
Yes.
And in the middle of it all, you have both have to exist, or both have to exist in order for life to be, but this part has to be controlled in order for life to persist.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
100% hands down.
control. I'm a Gray Creed guy all the way now. Just simple.
So with that being said,
That's my
Western
new name,
Echo,
JT the Gray.
JT the Gray, Western Echo, my friend, what
Yes.
do you rate this week's episode of Book of Boba Fett of 1 to 5 Mandalorian helmets?
Can I just do one more little geek tidbit before I
Absolutely.
give my rating?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure a lot of people keep wondering about, nobody's wondering, but everybody understands that Mark Hamill didn't actually physically appear as a young Mark Hamill in this episode.
Are you
so
sure?
the way they do it through a bit of CGI, a bit of stand-in actors, and very heavily modified voice of Mark Hamill, who did speak for
Yes.
the part.
Yes.
But as far as the stand-in actors, and let me show you. Let me do this. Yeah. So Max Lloyd-Jones was a stand-in for Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2.
Mhm.
In this series, it is Graham Hamilton, who not a very known name, but you may have seen him playing small parts in other TV shows. I definitely know his face. So he is the one who did the stand-in for as Luke. And I know many people wish it were Sebastian Fan, and yes, he does kind of look like a young Mark Hamill, but you're gonna have to wait until that happens.
That
That's all I'm
probably
gonna
won't
say.
be until the movies.
Yeah.
or
So
or until his
go ahead.
Marvel contract is up.
Yeah, or that. So with that said, I give this episode of I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5, and I can't even tell you why. It's between 3.5 and 4. But it's not quite 4, but not 3.5. It's somewhere in between.
So 3 and 3/4.
And it's there's parts of it which are definitely I would give it 5, and there's parts of it which I'm they not so much dragged on, but I didn't agree with how they were developed, which is not to say that they were bad. It's just I like if I were a director, I would do them differently, just slightly.
Okay.
Then that's about as much as I can go into it
All right. All right.
at the moment.
Wait,
That
which
makes sense.
it makes perfect sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. So JT, what about you?
Well, I think I'm going to go the opposite way of what Echo went. I'm actually going to go 4 and 3/4.
Wow. That's your highest rated episode so far for this series.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
I don't know why. I shouldn't say I don't know why. I don't know exactly what it is that pushes it to the 4 and 3/4. I 3 and 3/4 of it is just because of Grogu.
Okay.
And the training of Grogu and everything was so awesome. The only thing that honestly stops this episode from being a 5 was the fact that, this is the book of Boba Fett. And we didn't really have much, just like episode 5, didn't really have much Boba Fett here. But what pushes it back up to where it does,
Yep.
honestly, is the cantina blowing up.
Oof, that was a good scene, that's for sure.
That was an awesome scene, and it set the groundwork perfectly for what I predicted last week.
Yeah.
That episode 7 is going to be okay. You had first punch.
Yes.
The Pike took first punch against Boba Fett by blowing up the cantina.
Sure.
So that is your first terrorist hit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next episode is going to be Boba's reply to the Pike's attack, which is going to lead into the start of the war at the very end of episode 7.
Yeah.
So because of that one scene, because otherwise I would have been at maybe a 4.
Ooh.
But because of that one scene, it pushed it that close because that sets everything up for
It really
episode
does.
7.
It really does.
If it goes the way I think it's going to go.
Yeah. So for me, this was a very hard episode for me to rate.
Well, there were so many
From the
branches. I mean,
from the geek standpoint, I want to say 5. However, it's not a 5. It is not a 5. Now,
we have the geek side and then we have the Sully side.
Now, I'm gonna give it 4 3/4.
Oh, for totally different reasons than what I stated.
The biggest reason is 3 words: Cad fucking Bane.
Actually, that would be 2 words and an emphasis.
Because really, that is when the episode turned around. It really did. It turned around right there. That was here comes the stranger. And if you think about it, the name of the title alone, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. Okay? In this case, at first you're thinking the stranger is Vanth, Timothy Oliphant's character. He's the stranger from the desert. Boba Fett doesn't know him, but Din Djarin does.
Yeah, so
But
he's not really a stranger though.
but he is to Boba Fett.
But yeah.
Okay? But then you see Cad Bane just walking from the distance, not even using a ship, walking in the desert to the town. That alone is old school Western on top of all of the lore from Star Wars, because you don't know what happened to him after there was an episode of Bad Batch, I believe, that he was in. And from there, you haven't seen him since. So we know he survives. We know he survives past the Bad Batch, through A New Hope, through Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Cad Bane. Oh, it was awesome.
You have to let Echo talk because he was sitting there doing the $1 million thing. You know.
No. All I wanted to say is that it's something. Let me just draw from what both of you said. So, had the episode ended with the showdown,
Oh, that would have been awesome.
and just cut the credits, I would have given it 4.5, maybe even 4.75, possibly not likely 5, but very close. This is what I said about how I would have done things differently. That goes into what you said, JT. The reason you gave it your score went up is the reason why my score went down. Because I'll explain why. Stylistically speaking, it was a spaghetti western episode from the very solid, very entertaining, and very perfectly written and very well weaved storyline wise episode from the beginning up until that moment. That scene of blowing out the cantina was straight out of mob movie scenes. It was stylistically felt out of place for me. It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It fell flat for me personally. I did not expect that. I was like, nah.
Now
it didn't work for me.
Now go ahead, JT. Go ahead, because
I was just gonna say, did the cantina explosion happen before or after the dude came in?
After.
Okay, so he came to the town in the desert. He made, he did what he did, and he says, as he's leaving, he's saying, as long as the spice keeps flowing, no one will get hurt. And then he goes into Boba Fett's home, basically his territory, and says, "Hey, this is what's going to happen," and blows it up. So it's their way of saying it ain't gonna work.
I understand the sequence of events completely works. I'm just saying from a stylistic point of view,
I got you.
Entirely different movie or TV style suddenly for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that threw me off completely.
Now,
well, maybe they did it on purpose.
Now, here's the other thing, okay? and this is where the detail of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau come into play, okay? Because Cad Bane was in Clone Wars. He was also in Rebels, all right? Now, here's the best part, and this is where everything comes full circle when it comes to this show, Book of Boba Fett. Cad Bane was trained by Jango Fett, and Cad Bane trained Boba Fett.
Yes.
So now you've got the full circle of what's going on, because Cad Bane,
small world, even in space.
Well, that's the thing. But Cad Bane is basically going, my apprentice is not going to take over. No way. No how. It's not happening. Okay? Not happening. So, a lot of things happening.
That's why he's so angry.
Yeah. A lot of things happening, and I can't wait for episode 7 this Wednesday. It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to tell you this now. Do not message me about it at all.
I won't.
Until I send you a message.
I won't. You usually watch it like Thursday, Friday.
Friday, Saturday, usually somewhere in there.
Depending on when you guys are able to. So I won't say a word. I know Dennis and I will be talking about it greatly on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing about it at like 8:37 in the morning.
Yeah, well, I'll also be, working at that time, but be like, no, don't say anything. I gotta watch it later. He's gonna send me a message like, dude, you gotta watch it, man. You just gotta watch it.
I first asked, did you watch it yet? Did you? You gotta watch it now.
Like I
Did
will
you watch
tonight,
it?
I promise. I promise, I will. So, with that being said, that is the end of this episode of Book of Boba Fett for Avenger Pretenders. We will be back next Monday for the final chapter. Chapter 7, which will be out this Wednesday on Disney Plus. And Disney Plus does not sponsor the show, but it would be really, really cool if they did. For Western Echo, there he is. There he is. And JT, and of course for myself, make sure you tune into The Sully Show tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Accidental Punch. We will see you guys next week for Avenger Pretenders. Later.
Bye-bye.
Yay! And now we get to possibly do a raid. Let's see who's on tonight. I don't know who's
You're
on.
fucking killing me today. Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot for this episode, so I apologize for how long it went, but damn, there was just so much going on.
There was a lot in this episode.
It was great, wasn't it? Wasn't it, folks? Wasn't it? All right.
And you didn't even talk about the whole frog scene.
No, I didn't. And don't get me wrong.
The frog was awesome.
Don't get me wrong. Like, the frog scene was important, but it really wasn't. It was more for.
No, it wasn't important. It was a good callback to season 2.
Yes, it was a very good callback to season 2. But I didn't want to get into it because there was just so much detail that we had to go through, And that's the thing. The shows are very, very detailed. All right, we are going to raid my buddy Scarlet Rose Plays. She is playing Red Dead Redemption, which is really cool. A lot of the streamers that play GTA Online do this for Red Dead Redemption as well. So if you want some nice Western feel to it, go over, join the raid, tell her we sent you, and of course, don't forget to use Punchers Unite with the Accidental Punch logo, and we will see you guys next Monday for Avenger Pretenders, and tomorrow for the Sully Show, and it's going to be a good one. Sim Trisha will be with us, and it'll be fantastic. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. The show is over. We're going to do a raid now. We're going to do a raid. Maybe, eventually. Here we go.